My name's Ian Wainwright and I'm the producer of RSC Open Stages. The RSC is probably, it's one of the world's largest theatre companies, mainly famed for doing Shakespeare, and actually that is the meat of our work, is generally producing very high quality Shakespeare productions. We're based in Stratford-upon-Avon, we work also in London, we work in New York and we tour around the world. But I suppose what we're less well known for, but do just as much of, is new writing and creating new work as well, and our large-scale education and community projects. Today's project is Open Stages, and this is a large-scale project of the RSC's, working with amateur theatre, and it's about re-engaging the professional sector of theatre with amateur theatre, so bringing those two groups together and sharing their skills. It comes from the idea of finding out more about the world of amateur theatre, and I think because the world of professional theatre and amateur theatre have moved quite a way away from each other, not in a sense of quality, just in a sense of knowing one another and meeting one another. A lot of this project is about rediscovering the world of amateur theatre for us as professionals. It looks like an outreach project where we go out and give things. It's actually very much an in-reach project where we're taking what we find out about the world of amateur theatre back to the professional theatre world and telling them about it, because I think we really have lost touch with that world. So this part of the project where we run workshops is about the fact that the best way we know how to find out about people is to work with them.
Well, this is a really exciting collaboration. The RSC have set up this project to develop links with the amateur sector and to find out what the amateur sector are up to and to see how we can support the amateur sector and involve them more in what we're doing. They've been looking for a number of links around the whole of the UK and Ireland, and we are the host for the RSC's section here in Northern Ireland. This is great for us. We had an engagement forum last year for the amateur sector. We wanted to find out how we could engage better with the amateur sector because we haven't really had that in the past. So, and what we gleaned from that was they would love the opportunity to use the building, obviously, which was, we're looking forward to hosting the AUDF finals next year, hopefully. But the other big thing that came out of that was that they would like some skills development and training in different areas, so performance and directing, lighting, sound, props, set, scenery, that sort of thing. And then we had been looking at how we could do that, and then bizarrely enough the RSC got in touch with us about this, and we thought, my goodness, this is great. It's going to give them that skills development. It means that they're going to be focusing on Shakespeare, which is, you know, is a big ask, but they'll have the support from us and they've got the support from the RSC, so hopefully that will develop their knowledge of how to do Shakespeare.
Throughout these sessions we're also finding out a little bit of how you work. We're also finding out a bit about the sort of people who do amateur theatre, and the big thing that I think that made an impact on the professionals that I've been working with is the scale of the world of amateur theatre. We talked yesterday about 5,000 groups, 1 million people doing amateur theatre in the UK, that it swamps the size of the professional sector, and that reason alone means it should be something that professional sector is recognising and working with. We're sharing the skills of producing professional theatre. We brought with us our voice practitioners, our movement practitioners. The Lyric have brought with them their directors and their acting coaches. And what the amateurs are bringing with them is how they create theatre.
I'm Kate Zagowski and I work for the movement department at the RSC. I'm based full-time in Stratford, working with the actors there, and today I've been sharing some of the techniques we use with them in physically preparing for a production. So we've been looking at ways into finding characterisation and unlocking the text through physical choices, looking at trying to give people a vocabulary to talk about movement and therefore to analyse it and to make choices according to what their character is within a play and the context that character finds themselves in. So we've been looking at things like choices according to how you operate within the space. So are you the kind of person that likes to be in the centre of the space or the edge of the space? How do you relate to other people within that space? So we've been looking at those factors. We've also been looking at physical tempo and ideas about tension in the body and ways of combining those things to very simply give different characters from the way that the body is relating to the words on the page. The great thing about this work is that we work with people from the physicality that they have, so anyone can do it. They bring their body into the room, and it's that we're looking to unlock into being able to play any kind of different character. So we look to build it up in very simple stages, so there's no sense of going, oh, I can't do that, I don't know what that means. And actually what I find is that very quickly in an hour to an hour and a half, people are building quite complicated, different physical states on their own via very simple steps.
I'm Tom Jordan. I'm here with RSC Open Stages, teaching a bit of stage combat. So we're looking at the kind of the fundamentals of stage combat. We're looking at a few basic techniques. So we're looking at punches, a couple of slaps, hair pulling, that kind of thing. Really looking at kind of how we do that technically, how we hold ourselves, how we work physically, how we keep ourselves safe. And then from there, we're moving on just a tiny bit of choreography, just a little bit to kind of extend those ideas and see how, first of all, we keep them consistent in terms of technicality, and then ideas about how we actually start to perform that on stage. So we're keeping safe, we're making things look effective, but how do we then add the acting on top of that? How do we sustain staying safe? How do we sustain that technicality whilst actually performing our scene, whilst actually adding text to what we're doing, whilst really developing ideas about giving an energetic performance built on top of that kind of foundation. Really, it's something that I think all actors, professional, amateur, semi-professional, everyone should have at least a minimal understanding of stage combat, because it's the sort of thing that you could be called upon to do virtually at any point. And hopefully you're going to have someone you work with who's a professional fight choreographer. But that process is just a little bit quicker if people already understand some of the physical processes.
Hello, my name is Michael Corbidge and I work at the Royal Shakespeare Company as a voice and text coach, and I also work in the Department of Actor Development. I'm presenting the module of voice and text, and what that involves really is a group of actors who have 90 minutes to investigate words, and these words are attached to a piece of text and they come from a Shakespearean play. What we do is we build a sense of the visceral. It's purely about living with the words that are on the page, and also trusting that we come to a workshop with a huge amount of instinct and intuition. And sometimes we forget that we have that. And what we find is that they do take ownership of the words, they do bed in, the voice gets nicely lodged and becomes much more effective in the space. It lessens the worry and concern about self-consciousness because all the exercises are done as a group. What we've done today is really give them a toolbox of 10, 12, 15 different kind of ideas. They're almost like games, and they can be used as a warm-up. They can be used at the start of a rehearsal. They can be used in isolation to sort of investigate text before you go into a rehearsal situation. Or if the rehearsal gets a bit stodgy and a bit kind of atrophied, they can play with some of these ideas to constantly keep things fresh and vital, and this idea of on the voice.
Hi, so I'm Maya Vonsovic, and today was, I guess, all about a window into what we do at the RSC, some of the methods we employ to unlock text, how you start the process of discovery to finding out a way that you want to play a scene, kind of working through different choices, having dialogue with the director. It's very much a kind of two-way process at the RSC. And today was just really good fun. We're doing Richard III, Act 1, Scene 2, the scene known as The Wooing of Lady Anne. And it's quite an amazing scene because she's on her way to bury her father-in-law, and Richard comes along and ends up convincing her to give the body to him, even though he killed the man and her husband. So there's so many events, like it's a really incredible scene. I hope the main thing people learn is that there's no right way of doing anything, that you make a choice, you come with a bold choice, you offer it, and you have a dialogue, hopefully with the director, you play. You've got to keep playing and keep being prepared to fall on your face, because I think people see professional theatre and they think, these guys are, you know, really good, we're never going to get to that level. But actually, we all come in not knowing what the hell's going on, and it's a process of play and discovery to reveal the text.